Okay, so imagine you're, on a hike, right? And the views are incredible. You're just soaking it all in. And then suddenly things take a really dark turn.
That's exactly the kind of scenario that we're diving into today.
Yeah, a deeply unsettling incident on a Hawaiian trail. It involves a doctor and his wife and trying to understand what happened.
Yeah, and to piece this whole story together, we've gone through a pretty wide range of reports from MDC News, CBS News, CNN, NDTV,
Oh,
Men's Journal, Yahoo News.
this is getting a lot of coverage.
It is the New York Post, Times of India, ABC 7 News,
Yeah.
ABC News, and even the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
So it's not just a local story.
No, not at all.
Yeah, at the center of all this is Dr. Gerhardt Konig. He's a 46-year-old anesthesiologist. And then you have his wife, Arielle Konig. She's 36 and a nuclear engineer. This incident allegedly took place near the Pali Lookout on Oahu.
Yeah, a popular hiking spot known for its beauty. So let's dive right into the details. The reports indicate that this whole thing occurred on Monday, March 25th, 2025. And according to widespread reporting, Dr. Konig allegedly attempted to push his wife off one of the hiking trails.
And it gets even more disturbing than that, because the news also suggests that he struck her head with a rock during this incident. I mean, it's a pretty grim picture.
It is. It paints a very disturbing picture.
Yeah.
And as a result of this alleged attack, Arielle Konig was immediately rushed to the hospital. The initial reports that we've seen consistently described her condition as critical, with severe head and facial injuries.
It makes you think about the force involved, right?
Absolutely. The kind of injuries that could result from such an assault in that kind of environment are just horrific.
Yeah. And the authorities acted quickly. Dr. Konig was apprehended by Honolulu police near Pali Highway after what's being described as a brief foot pursuit.
Yeah. And he's now facing some very serious legal charges as a direct result of these actions. Attempted murder.
It's a huge escalation of events. Now, what could have possibly led to something like this? I mean, I think that's the question on everyone's mind right now.
I think so. And honestly, the official reason, the motive behind this alleged violence, it just remains unclear from the reports we've seen.
Yeah, no clear motive yet. But there is one detail that keeps popping up. It's mentioned in several of the reports.
Yeah, what is that?
Several sources are suggesting that this whole thing might have been triggered by Arielle's refusal to take a photograph with her husband.
A photograph?
A photograph, which, when you hear that, it's just disbelief, right? It just seems so incredibly out of proportion to the alleged crime.
It really does make you wonder if there were other tensions at play.
Deeper issues, maybe.
Yeah.
Like something else must have been going on.
Underlying issues that we're not aware of.
Right. Okay, so let's try to understand the people involved a bit better.
Yeah, good idea.
Starting with Dr. Konig. So we know he's a 46-year-old anesthesiologist.
Right, and before moving to Hawaii, he had a pretty significant professional presence in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Yeah, he was affiliated with UPMC, the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, which is a major medical institution.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
And he also held professorship at the university.
So he was well respected.
Very much so.
Yeah.
So, points to a successful and respected career in his field.
And then he moved to Hawaii. And the reports indicate that he obtained his medical license there in September of 2022. And professionally, he was working as an independent contractor, providing medical services on Maui.
Including at Maui Memorial Medical Center.
So he was actively practicing.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And following this incident, it's been widely reported that his medical privileges have been suspended pending the investigation.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's standard procedure in these kinds of cases. But it definitely underscores the seriousness of the allegations.
You can understand why they would do that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, now what about Arielle Konig? So she's 36, and she has a very different professional background from her husband. She's a nuclear engineer, and she's currently working as a project manager at TerraPower.
TerraPower. They focus on designing and developing advanced nuclear reactors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty high-tech field. It requires a lot of expertise and, problem-solving skills.
I bet.
Her education background definitely lines up with that. She has a bachelor's degree in nuclear engineering from Penn State and an MBA from the University of Pittsburgh.
So they both have ties to Pittsburgh.
They do.
Interesting. It's a pretty stark contrast, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You have someone dedicated to, the complexities of nuclear power and someone who's focused on anesthesia.
Yeah, it's a really interesting juxtaposition. And they were married in 2018, so they've been together for a while now. This contrast in their backgrounds, along with the allegations, it just adds another layer of intrigue to this whole thing, wouldn't you say?
I think so. It's fascinating.
Yeah. And it makes you think about how the communities who knew Dr. Konig are reacting to all of this. The reports have included some comments from colleagues and neighbors, both in Pittsburgh and in Hawaii.
And what's interesting is that the overall sentiment seems to be one of shock and disbelief.
Like they can't believe it.
Right. Many people who knew him described him as friendly and quiet.
It's that classic reaction, right? When someone you thought you knew is accused of something completely unexpected.
Especially something violent. It challenges the image people had of him. It makes you think about how well we can really know anyone.
Right, like do we ever really know anyone?
That's a good question. In this case, it really highlights the disturbing nature of these allegations, especially because they're directed at a healthcare professional.
Yeah, someone who's supposed to be helping people?
Exactly. Someone who is, generally perceived as being dedicated to preserving life and alleviating suffering.
It creates a real dissonance.
It does. A significant cognitive dissonance for those who knew him and trusted him.
Okay, so let's recap what we've learned so far. We have a seemingly ordinary couple enjoying a hike in a beautiful location. And then you have this well-respected physician who's now facing accusations of a brutal attack on his wife, who is herself a highly accomplished professional. And the potential trigger, at least what's being reported, seems incredibly minor.
Right. A refusal to take a picture.
Yeah, it leaves a huge question mark hanging over the actual motive.
That's the biggest mystery right now. What really happened and why?
So we have the core facts, the alleged attempted murder, the serious injuries that Arielle sustained, and the arrest and charges against Dr. Konig. And then we have these background details that paint a picture of two successful professionals, both with roots in Pittsburgh, who had built a life together in Hawaii.
And it's a narrative filled with these unsettling contradictions.
It is. And it's crucial to remember that this is still an ongoing investigation. There are undoubtedly pieces of this puzzle that we're still missing. The full truth of what happened and the reasons behind it, they haven't been uncovered yet.
We only have fragments of this story at this point.
Right. What do you make of the fact that so many reports mentioned that photograph? Do you think there's something more to it?
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But it is fascinating how that detail has become such a focal point in the reporting. It could be exactly as it's been reported. A disagreement that just escalated in a horrific way.
But it does feel out of proportion.
It does. And it might also be that it's just a surface-level detail, something that reporters latched onto early on while the real deeper issues remain hidden.
Or maybe it was just a trigger. Not for the act itself, but for an outburst of some pre-existing tensions that we as outsiders just aren't privy to.
I think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
It makes you consider the complexities that exist within any relationship, the things that we don't see.
Yeah. What really strikes me is the contrast between the beauty of the setting and the alleged violence that took place there. This idyllic Hawaiian landscape, a place, where people go for peace and natural beauty. It became the scene of something truly horrific.
Yeah, that juxtaposition is really powerful and unsettling.
It is. It's a reminder that even in the most tranquil of environments, human drama, and in this case, alleged violence, can erupt.
It shatters our perceptions of safety and normalcy, even in places that seem like paradise.
And these are individuals in high-pressure critical fields, medicine and nuclear engineering. It makes you wonder about the unseen pressures they might be facing, the stress that comes with those kinds of responsibilities.
It leads to a very profound question. What does it tell us when individuals who seem to be pillars of their communities, professionals entrusted with significant responsibilities, are accused of such serious and violent acts?
How do we reconcile the public image, the person they present to the world, with the potential for such darkness?
It really challenges our assumptions about human nature and the predictability of behavior.
It forces us to confront the fact that appearances can be deceiving, that even in seemingly ordinary lives, extraordinary and disturbing things can happen.
It's a case that highlights the hidden complexities within individuals and relationships, and the often unseen factors that can drive people to extreme actions.
It's a sobering reminder that behind any facade of normalcy or success, there can be hidden struggles and complexities, and even the potential for violence.
It encourages us to look beyond surface-level perceptions and acknowledge that human experience is multifaceted and sometimes unpredictable.
This has been a really deep dive into an unsettling and thought-provoking event. Thank you for helping us navigate this complex story.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, we hope this exploration of the available information has been helpful, even amidst the many unanswered questions. And we encourage you to continue considering these complex and often surprising stories that shape our understanding of the world and the people around us.
It's important to keep asking questions.
It is.